GHK Radio Season 2, Episode 10, the season finale.
Oh my god, that's almost 2 whole seasons.
Oh my god, I can't believe it's Season 10.
Season, for 2 seconds, I was like, yeah, Season 10. And I was like, wait a
whole
second.
episodes per season.
That's how frequently we post. Oof. It's okay. We're working on it. This year was tough.
10,000 years.
Are we fossils? Oh no.
No.
We've been fossilized, yep.
I don't...
It's Rita Repulsa from the Power Rangers, you nerd.
I'm the nerd?
Yeah.
I think in this case, Kai is the nerd here.
How do you not know Rita Repulsa? That's how they open every episode. It's been 10,000 years. Finally, I'm free. It's time to conquer.
Oh, is this from Dino Thunder?
Don't talk to me.
Okay, I'm sorry.
All right, well, Highwater, so how's your week been?
It's been okay. I'm now very sad because Kai straight up just told me not to talk to him. It's been nice.
It's okay. We can overcome this together.
Yeah, we've done plenty of ignoring Kai on this podcast, so if Kai ignores me, it won't be too different.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be something we're pretty used to. But it's been nice. The weather's been slowly improving. We finally got like our first break of like 80-degree weather yesterday.
It's actually hot.
Yeah,
Oh.
no, it's actually hot. But it went from like 40s or 40s to 80s within like the span of a day. So
So you're kind of just like, ooh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. So like yesterday I had a headache all day, and no matter how much water I drank, I was like constantly dehydrated. And then eventually I was like, I think I'm gonna go to bed early, and I like woke up sneezing. It was a rough day, but it was a beautiful day.
Yeah.
And today is like, what's today's high? Hang on, let me see. I think it's like supposed to be 81. So we've got 2 days of this nice hot weather, and then it's supposed to go, today's high is 82. And then tomorrow it says it's supposed to go down to 68. And then the day after that, down to 48. So
It's like suddenly getting warmer here, too,
yeah. But I'm
Last
surprised
night-
because... Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. You go ahead. You finish
Oh,
up.
I was just going to say, I was sort of surprised because, like, you know, Kai, you and I aren't that far from each other. Like, 4 hours worth of driving distance, and we do not, like, we very often have similar weather, and we do not right now.
No,
Especially
I
yesterday.
wouldn't say we're as warm as you, but it's still warmer than we're used to.
It's
Like-
my area is still pretty cold-ish, at least. But
Jealous.
it was warming up. It's supposed to, I think today it's going to be. Let's see, what does the forecast say? It says
This
we're
is
on
a
a
forecast.
cooling trend.
Oh,
We're on a cooling
And
really?
now for the weather, we have Girl
Yeah,
DM on the
weather.
scene.
Yeah, let's see. What's it say here? What's the full forecast here say? It says that today it'll hit 20 Celsius.
Okay, I have to figure out what that is. Sorry.
20 Celsius would be 68 Fahrenheit.
Oh, nice. That's the kind of weather I like.
Yeah. So it looks like for this week, like today and tomorrow it's going to be like that, and then it's going to get cold again. Which is fine
Ooh.
by me because I like it when it's cold outside.
Same.
I don't like the heat. I like the cool.
Same.
I like the in between, so like 50s and 60s, and even like low 70s are good for me. But once it goes into like the high 70s into the 80s, and like that's too hot for me. Like people are like, "Hey, it's 80 degrees. I'm so excited." I'm like, "Don't talk to me." Like you will find me in a hole in the ground. Like I just want to stay cool, please.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
It would-
So go ahead.
I would
Sorry.
say 40s to 50s is my ideal temperature. I prefer it like cooler too, but I think yesterday around here it also hit around 60 something
Oh, that sounds
Fahrenheit.
pleasant.
I'm doing all these pre-conversions for all you silly
appreciate it.
Imperials, even though you're the
Thank
only
you.
ones that use Fahrenheit
Sowie.
in the world.
Sowie.
And we were going out for dinner, and Mama Kai was like getting ready, and she was like, "I wonder if I need this coat." I've never seen her change her mind faster. Because like we keep our coats, in the closet by the door. So she puts the coat on, opens the door, and immediately was like, "Wow, this was a mistake,"
Oh no.
and just like in one motion, like kind of like slithered out of the coat. I've never seen her do
Just
that.
like shucked the coat off.
She needed it off immediately. It was just like, no. She did the
really
whole
cute.
shoulder wiggle out of it too, like how kids do.
Yeah, they're like, no. They like shoulder shimmy.
Exactly.
That's really cute. How are you, girl DM? I think you had fun times yesterdays.
Yeah, I spent times with let's see. Day before yesterday was Mom DM birthday, so we spent some time for her birthday.
Yay, omedetou!
Mm-hmm. It's been a very busy week. I had my I had the convention panel, and then been setting up other things, and then also family birthday. So my one of my family members does art, and she wanted pictures of her art done. So I'm the one with the camera, so I had to take 2 days to go take photos of her art in various locations so that she could have it preserved. And so it's just like,
Oh wow.
okay.
Wow.
Like
You're like a
canvas art?
historian.
I won't go too much into detail, but she just does.
Oh,
She
okay.
does some pretty durable art pieces, and
Mm.
some of them she sells privately, and she wanted to make sure that the ones that she liked a lot that were for sale still, were had nice pictures of them before she no longer has them in her house or in her like close
Right.
possession.
That makes sense. Just to like be able to still look at it even if it's no longer hers.
Mm-hmm.
Can't
Yeah,
believe
that
your
makes
cousin's Leonardo da Vinci.
Da Vinci.
Well, I'm sure if her family member heard that, she would be absolutely chuffed. She'd be very pleased, I'm sure. Otsukare-sama, what a busy week.
Yep,
Sounds
and I
like
still have more
everyone's
busy
busy,
stuff
busy.
coming up, so I'm just like right now.
Yep.
Ugh.
I know as the weather improves, people start making plans for like panels and conventions and meetups and things like that. Like the Chilluminati Pod, which is like a podcast I've been listening to for like many years now. Is doing like every year they've been doing like not, I wouldn't call it a convention because that involves like, you know, under one genre and then or like a multitude of genres and then people come to like certain panels, but like it's not quite like that. It's like straight up a meetup, but it's just like with the podcast members and then like they sell tickets for like the fans to attend as well.
Yeah,
and they're
it's just a
doing
fan
one
meetup.
Is that what that is? I thought if you had to buy tickets then it's called something else. But what do I know? I've never even been to one of these. What do I know?
Concert?
But it's sort of, but it's like just them doing a like it's them doing essentially what they would have done on their podcast, but like live.
Yeah, so it's a live show. It's just a live
oh,
show.
okay. All right, then that makes way more sense. But yeah, but they're like doing a meetup like May 26th in Austin, Texas.
Wow.
I'm like, no, I want to go, but Texas is so far away. I want to go, so it feels bad, man. But you know, 'tis the season for all this sort of planning stuff, so I can see how like everybody gets busy. A long time coming. Kai, how was your week?
Oh boy, it's been a week.
Yeah.
It has been a week. It's not a secret that my health has been not the greatest lately. So I've spent all week dealing with the hospital.
Oh,
and the frustrating thing is they still don't know what my condition is.
That is frustrating. That's actually incredibly annoying, and I don't know how they've made it this far. Like
they've run me through like a whole gamut of tests, and like every test comes back like inconclusive. They're like, yeah, the values in the test results, they're all within a range where we can't really tell what it is. So we're gonna have to schedule you back, and I'm just like, it's almost every single day. If I'm not at the hospital, I'm on the phone with the hospital, and they'll always like put me on hold. And so like most of my everyday is like wake up, call my work to call my team, and then call the hospital, and then back to calling my work to call my team. It's just like it's tiring.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
at
just like,
least you don't have
I
to
just-
drive to the hospital every day. That would be tiring.
That would be too, although I don't live too far from the hospital. That's not too bad. And as you said, I mean, there are other plans going on. I've got like things that I'm preparing for, personal and VTubing wise. So having to like constantly interrupt. Oh, I'm so sorry. The hospital's calling. The hospital's calling. It's just not
Yeah.
been. It's not been fun. I would
It's
say.
not fun.
But I mean, it's I feel like self-diagnosed wise, like take this with a grain of salt. I feel like my condition's getting better, but
Mhm.
Oh, that's
it's
good.
yeah, it's not keeping me down at the very least for the time being. So,
Mhm.
we'll leave the doctor stuff to the doctors to deal with.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to like plan out the rest of my month, really.
Mhm.
なるほどね.
Yeah.
Well, お疲れ様 to both of you for various
Thank
different
you.
reasons, but the theme of this is we've all been very busy.
Incredibly so.
We've all been
Jesus.
busy. So this season finale could not have come at a more convenient time, to be honest, because I'm sure we could all use our
As much as I love
our
talking
Sundays.
to Karune and Kai.
Yeah, we need this time to like get our ducks in a row, and then we'll be back in the
Yeah.
fall again. So that'll be
Mhm.
that'll be
That'll be
fine
good.
when
Yeah.
things are
Like-
sort of like
Yay.
situated.
Oh my
Yay!
God.
judge,
Season
I
3
judge my
already confirmed.
my mental state by how clean my room is, and right now it's kind of like looking like a tornado hit it. So I'm just like,
Oh
I've got a very precarious but visually pleasing tower of mugs on my desk just because I don't have time to clean them up.
nice.
no! I am very
Yeah, I've
scared
got-
for you.
I'm up to 5
got-
mugs.
Wow. Don't break them.
I really don't want to because my girl DM mug and my Harune mug are both here in the tower.
Oh God, he's gonna murder both of us, Harune.
Yeah, he's gonna make sure they all smash to the ground, and then
You
be
know
like,
what?
"Oh, my
I'm
brother
going
did
to-
it."
I'm going to put you guys at the bottom of the tower for now.
Okay.
Oh, good. I'm glad you're rearranging the tower.
Couldn't just take the tower down. No, you just have to rearrange it.
No, there's no space for it.
Ma'am, the sink is downstairs.
I am just saying you don't have to make it. You don't have to stack them. You could just put them aside somewhere where no
Right.
one's at risk of falling.
Listen, Miss Moneybags, real estate's
I'm
expensive.
not. I don't know what you're talking about. How am I Miss Moneybags for telling you to spread
I
your
don't have
cups around?
the room. I don't have the room to spread my cups around.
You don't have a floor?
It's carpeted. I'm not gonna
What
put a
but
mug
the
with...
cups are empty. What do you mean?
Unless they're not empty.
None of your mugs are empty, and you stack them on top of each other. You're an absolute fool. You are a fool.
You fool.
You are a fool. None of what you do makes
Fuel.
sense.
I'm deceased.
Only dollars.
Only dollar.
Kai's just sitting here being like, you know what, I was gonna be sad about the season end, and now I'm happy.
He's like, he takes the whole summer to emotionally
to get
yeah,
The
emotionally
sand
his
heal.
emotions to be like, okay, here we go again.
Yeah. He needs to recoup emotionally before season 3.
True.
Ah.
Kai's the one who needs this break.
Yeah, Kai needs this break the most out of everyone. Kai
True.
needs it. But
Emotional damage.
Yes. Yes. But anyway,
Anyways.
friends, shall we take this in GHK order for the season finale?
Sure.
Would that be okay?
Wow.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I had to sit here for a second and think, like, what was the order again? And then I'm like, oh, that's
Good God.
right. That's how we always do, like, the get ready before the recording.
Yeah, we have Nemurenai Kai, and we have Nemurenai Hai, and we have Nemurenai Kai as the order today.
Yeah.
No, I actually have
Oh
a
my
topic.
God.
I actually have a topic.
Yes, it has a time.
Yay! Wow.
Go ahead,
I don't know if I've already
Nemurenai
talked about
Kai.
it, but I'm gonna. That's me. I don't know if I've already talked about it, but if I have already talked about it, forget that I did, and then we talk about it.
We're talking
Okay.
about socks
Wait.
again, aren't we?
No. So my friends No, generally, I have a single bedroom that I'm renting from my family's, so I have like a very small amount of space, and so as things go further and further, I think more and more about like moving.
Same.
So like, what would be your ideal place / kind of like setup to move in or to at this point in time for you? If you had the option to move and money was no object and whatever, where and what kind of domicile would you want to go for?
I
Oh
have
my
an immediate answer to that.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Yes.
I feel like I really know my aesthetic as well. But go ahead, Kai, because you are ready.
There is a lovely 1-bedroom, 1-den condo that I paid for, that I own by right, that I should have moved into last November, except they're like, yahaha, no, 16 weeks delay, and then 16 weeks later, they're like, JK, another 12 weeks. I'm still waiting to move into my condo. Right here, right now. If money was no object, I just want to get in my dang condo.
I feel
Kai doesn't
that.
care about like the location. He's just like, I already have one.
There is a place I'm supposed to be at.
And
I'm
it is
so
ideal.
upset.
Yeah,
It's my home. It's
Well, of
my
course.
condo. I paid for it.
So it's just like it's a 1-bedroom bachelor pad type, or
A 1-bedroom, 1-den, yes.
That sounds kind of nice. I like that.
Well, that
It's
sounds
it's
neat.
it's
What-
nice because
do you know what the square footage is, or
I think it's like upper 400 something, 500 something.
Mm.
oh, that's a
square
little small.
footage. Wait.
But I think it's okay for a single person.
Oh no,
Yeah,
no, no, no,
for
wait,
sure.
wait, wait. No. I might be thinking. I might be confused because we were talking about other condos too. Because recently we've been doing a lot of stuff. My little brother's moving. He
Oh,
I'm
Suddenly
upset that
has-
he's moving before you.
he's moving before
Yeah.
me because his job requires him to move. So we've been looking at places for him.
oh,
Sorry,
Mhm.
my place is upper 500s, lower 600s ish.
okay.
His is going to be a little smaller because his is a temporary residence for work.
Mhm.
Mine's upper 500s to lower 600s, and
Mhm.
it cost me around like 400K
A year?
to purchase.
And they still won't let you in it.
They still won't let me in it.
Who's they? Who is preventing you from getting into your condo?
The construction company and their lawyers.
What the
Oh.
heck?
They're all
Is it
like,
condo?
it's
it
not
broken?
finished. They didn't finish building it yet.
Oh, they didn't finish building it.
They didn't finish building it yet. Apparently the exterior's done, the interior's not. And they're like, hey, it's not safe for us to let people move in past a certain floor.
Okay.
And I'm like,
so
but
you're
I'm past
still-
that certain floor. And they're like, yeah, well, that's another
Yeah,
12
well,
weeks
no,
delay
get
for you.
wrecked, gamer.
Exactly.
That sucks. That's infuriating because you're like, I've
It
been waiting.
is.
Like, they should, and not that they ever will, but like, deep in my heart, I
Not
think
that it's
everybody
a
deserves
priority.
a discount.
Not that it's
Yeah.
a priority or anything. But
But
it's also
still.
impacted my VTubing because I've been
Yeah, 'cause
holding off
you're-
on VR. I've been holding off on like a more involved cooking setup because I don't want to set up in my parents' kitchen.
Yeah, that same.
It's like
same,
I've got
same.
I've got all these like plans for VTubing that have been put on 16 and then another 12 weeks delay. So it's
Yeah.
just like hum da dum da doom da dum da doom, twiddle my thumbs, playing Horizon Zero Dawn, dum da doom da dum.
Yep, that's frustrating.
A little bit. So if money were no object, out of all the mansions and castles and secret underwater bases in the world right now, I want my 1-bedroom, 1-den apartment.
I was just like, I already have this thing. Let me in.
That's my ideal space. Just give it to me,
Well,
please.
I hope that they finally get their stuff together.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, if we count 12 weeks, I should be moving around July. And Papa Kai was immediately like, yeah, I'm not expecting you to move until November. I'm just like,
Oh,
That's
Kai-
late.
Kai mental.
Yeah, emotional damage.
Emotional damage.
Yeah. That's really rough because, like, especially when you have all of these things, like, it'd be one thing if you're like, well, once I move out, I don't know what I'm gonna do. But, like, the fact
I
that
know
you know
exactly what I'm gonna
exactly
do.
what you want to do, and you're just like, all I
Kai's
need to
just
do
sitting
is just
here.
move.
I've
Yeah.
had a plan ready since last November, but it's also like it's not a subject that I can like talk about a lot at home. Luckily, we're recording right now while the family is out,
Mhm.
because Mama Kai isn't taking it very well that both sons are like moving in quick succession.
Oh,
Because she thought my brother would still be
yeah.
here after I moved.
The
but-
babies are leaving.
Exactly. Like he suddenly has to move for work too, so she's been relatively sensitive regarding this topic. So if I express how strongly I want to move out of the house, she doesn't take it very well. So I've been
Yeah.
toning it down quite a bit in front of my family. But man, it is frustrating.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So this is the only time when they're not here that I can vent about it.
And
Yeah.
then you're like, oh, get me out of here.
I hope that it goes quickly and soonly, and that you can relocate quickly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You deserve your own space. The fact that you already paid for it too is what's absolutely infuriating.
Yeah, it's like it's already your place.
Not
like, what
the
the
not the
heck?
full thing, not the full thing. But I like got the down payment already. Like
Yeah,
all that's
But
left is once I
still.
move in, I start paying the mortgage. So
yeah, but
It's
still,
like-
it's like hello.
exactly, it's not a rental. I signed a contract. I paid the down payment. Like I'm going to own this like I almost said building. I'm not going to own the
No,
whole building.
Kai's the
I'm going to
building
own
owner.
this condo.
Yeah.
Just
No,
let
I
me
get
in.
that.
Well, just let me in. I started paying for it in like 2016.
Oh my god.
It's one of those pre-constructions where they like sell plots ahead of time.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
And
what my parents did when they
Yeah.
moved into the house that I grew up in. Yeah.
The worst part is too, like they had two projects going. It's like there were two buildings being constructed. The other one just got canceled.
Oh no.
Like I think like 4 years after the sales happened, they just decided like, oh, this second building's not
Oh.
happening anymore. So I guess they also had to deal with like class action lawsuits and stuff.
Oh, for sure. And they better have given everyone their money back.
Yeah. I mean, from what I heard, they did because one of my friends was going to move into that second building, so
Oh,
they got like
jeez.
royally done over.
Yeah,
That
that
sucks.
sucks. Oof.
But enough about my ramblings about this place. Holiday, how about you?
Hawun.
Hawun.
So, if money were not an issue, and it was like my dream home, I think it doesn't have to be very big. It just has to have stairs of some kind, like whether it's down into the basement stairs or if there happens to be a second floor. I personally don't care whether or not I have a second floor. It sort of depends on like if it's like with a family in mind or if it's just me living a solo life. But as long as it's like cozy, and that can be a myriad of different aesthetics, but like it just doesn't need to be very like big, and it needs to have a lot of natural light, like sort of what do they call that, like on like home improvement shows, like the open floor concept where like rooms sort of flow into each other. Mama Renee is very big on like feng shui and stuff like that, so she sort of, I guess, instilled into me at a young age that like, you know, you want like furniture located in a certain area and just like an openness to like the entirety of the place where like you feel like air can flow and like good energy can flow and things like that. Lots of natural light and a lot of nature. And that's my
Why do you
So
need stairs?
Why
are stairs a
You just don't
requirement?
like bungalows.
I like, how do I put this? Stairs are a form of exercise, and if I have to go up and down the stairs multiple times a day out of necessity, that's doing something rather than nothing at all. You know what I mean?
I was making that joke in my head. I didn't want to say it out loud, and then you said it.
It's not, but it's serious. It's genuine. Like, it's not even
I
a
was
joke.
thinking, like, oh, because that's the only exercise Hedone gets, and I was like, no,
Well,
that's me.
it's not the
And then
only. it's not the only exercise I get, but it would be some exercise out of necessity. You know what I mean? It'd be like,
But
if
it's
you had to, like,
motivation for exercise for Harmony.
yes, exactly. So like I can still, like, where I live right now is a condo that meets a majority of those like qualifications. Yeah, exactly. Like it's open concept. It actually has 2 sets of stairs, so it has like stairs go, for like a second floor for a bedroom and a study, and then a basement that's like quite spacious, and that's where like the laundry and the treadmill and like my streaming station is and things like that. So I like having to run up and down the flights of stairs for myriads of different reasons. The only complaint I have about this is that I feel self-conscious when I stream, because the walls are pretty thin and I can hear my neighbors really well when I'm in the basement. And so I feel like if I can hear them really well, they can hear me really well. Yeah, so like that's why I haven't done like any karaoke streams. That's why I haven't like done any of that stuff, because like I don't have like the privacy like within my own walls. So that's why I would say like a house or like something like cottagey or something like that. But like a condo really suits my needs in like every other aspect like right now. I don't have to deal with like outside maintenance or anything. Like snow shoveling and stuff in the winter. They've got parking spaces that kind of come with it that are like right outside. It doesn't have an awning though, so like that's sort of that. But in terms of just like living space, it's perfect. Like those are my requirements. So that's why the stairs. Yeah. So I can get my butt moving.
Yeah, so you can have the exercise going.
That's the other bone I have to pick with you. Me? You keep calling it a condo. But I've seen pictures of your yard. No, you've got like a little townhouse.
Shut up. It is called a condo.
If it's labeled as a condo, it's a condo, Mr. Condo.
No, I've always grown up knowing condos as like basically like large apartments.
You knew them wrong.
Okay, how do you define a condo? DM.
However Harnay defines it.
I hate it here.
Solidarity!
I've seen pictures of your yard. It's a little townhouse.
If it says it's a condo, it's a condo. There's probably some specific like legal term as to what something is a condo and what something is a townhouse.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
because that's probably why it's considered a condo.
Poo-poo to the law. I think it's a townhouse.
Poo-poo to the law. I mean, like, so I don't remember this place at all, but apparently from when I was born to when I was 2 years old, my family and I lived in a condo in a different city. And that one also had an upstairs. And so, like, I don't know if that's just a setup in my state. I don't know if that's a setup, if, like, that's how condos are situated throughout the country. I'm sort of, like, I believe that there are probably different types of condos. And the 2-story ones are probably a little bit more common in my area, is just what I think. But I've also seen I've also seen like single-story condos with no upstairs. So I don't know. Kai looks like he's just dying over there, but like I'm not going to argue with what this place legally calls itself, because like it's, I mean, what do I know? But this place is a condo.
Oh, Kai. A condominium refers to a form of legal ownership as opposed to a style of construction.
Get hecked on, nerd. Get dunked on. Get dunked on.
So it is illegal. It's a legal term.
Thank you for looking that up.
Poo-poo to the law. Poo-poo to all of it.
Poo-poo to you.
Well, don't poo-poo on the laws, Kai. That's disgusting.
Yeah, don't poop on the law. The law doesn't like it, and they'll have you arrested.
Well, then, Miss Girl DM, how about you? If money were no object, where would you like to live?
Well. So I also like I don't need too much space, but as things are going along, and I'm thinking more about like, I would like to move somewhere. I would like to move and have more space for me. I've been looking at some condos that are more of how Kai expects them to look like types of condos. / apartment rentals. but just like there's a couple places that I've seen that have really nice walls that are just windows, and it's like a whole bunch of nice
Ooh.
natural light going in there, and then they also have a little
Yes.
like a side room that could be used for an office, and I've just been looking at that kind of stuff being like, you know what? I want someplace that's got like a decent sized kitchen because I like to cook and I don't like being
Yes.
crammed into one corner when I'm trying to cook stuff.
Yes.
Yes.
And and in building laundry, well, in apartment or condo or whatever type of place it is,
Mhm.
laundry is very, very important. I've lived in places where you have to take your laundry out somewhere else to wash it.
I don't like
Me
that.
too. Me too.
I hate it. Too many times
I
came back from like running an errand really quickly, like that I needed to get done. And
mhm.
then somebody had taken my laundry out and put it on top of the machine and then used the rest of my money and washed their clothes with it.
Ugh.
Ugh.
Yep.
What the
Yep.
heck?
Yep. I was like, wow, this sucks.
Wow.
Yeah.
People suck. What the heck?
Yep.
That's
I
horrible.
I think I've been very lucky in that when I lived in a place that had that kind of like open shared laundry area, you need to put in the exact amount of change so no one can kind of use your money. And because of like everyone was weird like student schedules, I think I did my laundry usually on like a Tuesday night at like 1 in the morning. So I've lucked out and never had my laundry moved by someone else. I feel like it would bother me a bit too. Um, Maybe to a varying degree to how you guys would feel between boys and girls kind of thing. But I have seen other people move other people's laundries. And it's just like leave it alone, man. But come pick up your laundry. Like it's the person who leaves it at fault. But
Yeah, this one was it was in progress and then the machines
that's
didn't lock,
that's
so
kind
you
of
could
scummy.
just yeah.
That sucks.
Yep.
That's horrible. I don't know, when you do something so specifically to show that you couldn't care any less about
Right?
the other person, that's when I get really
Right.
upset because it's like, are you
Yeah.
are you trash? Like, excuse me?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's
Are
like
you
this
the
is
gum stuck at the bottom of my shoe? Like,
yep. So that's frustrating. But yeah, I've been looking at a whole bunch of places recently. And so
Nice.
it's nice
that's
to take a
exciting.
look and then also like see if I can imagine what living there would be like and how I could like decorate stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
mhm.
That's good. That's something that I like really struggle with as I look around my place right now. I'm not a decorator. I know like I've seen like it's almost like, I don't know, like an Instagram genre or like a Pinterest genre where you like look around and like home deco, right? And they have these like
Yeah.
things. It always involves a lot of things, right? And like things that are like hung up on the wall that just says things like "home is where the heart is," and like little decorative like
Live, laugh,
knickknacks.
love. Love,
Yeah,
laugh,
live.
live, laugh, love.
Exactly. Or like pillows with these like kitschy sayings on there that mean kind of nothing, and then these like little decorative like fake potted plants and things like that. And I'm like, I can't, like, I cannot in my mind justify purchasing all of these things just to either put more holes in the wall or like more stuff lying around. Like for me, like minimalistic is like best for me. Like I'll hang paintings up on the wall, like that's fine. Or like nice photographs from like vacations that my family have been on and things like that. Like that I think is like worth putting up on the wall. But like I don't like having decorations lying around. But at the same time, when I go to someone else's place and it's like,
and you're like, oh, this is
fully
nice.
Exactly, like it's decked out for a very specific aesthetic, I'm like, I love it, it's so nice. Like, so I know like that's the disconnect of like my personal instincts versus like what I like to look at. So I will be more than happy to go to anybody's house and to have really nice decorations. But if like you come to my place,
But your own place, you're just like, nope, nope.
It's barren as heck.
So we just need to give you all kinds of furnishings with Jinbei-san on it.
I mean, I've got a Kodirakuma. I have a what is this? Like a duck that's in a bee costume. I have my dolphin pillow pet. I've got 2 other jinbeis upstairs on my bed. I have like I do have a lot of jinbeis and stuff, but like I can't decorate my house with stuffed animals. Like
You could.
Not with
I mean,
that
yeah, I guess I
attitude,
could.
you can't.
I guess I really
actually
could.
have
I could.
my bed was starting to get too crowded with like stuffies because I like my stuffed stuff. And so
too.
I actually have like a chain hung up on the wall
A chain?
that has little yeah, it's a chain. It's a white plastic chain and it's hung up on
Oh.
the wall. And then there's hooks, there's like clip hooks on it, and the stuffies are all hooked and clipped on with that. So that way they're able to so they're still visible and cute and everything, but they're just on the wall
Yeah.
instead of on the bed. So now I have more space because I was getting to the point that I was like, I love them, but there's too many. I can't fit. I have a small bed. I don't have room.
Right. And that's like another thing that I kind of forgot about too is that like walls, if you can use them as a form of storage, are incredible space savers while still making your place look like, yes, like it's still clean. There's still things hung up on the wall, but it doesn't like clutter it. You know what I mean? Like that was that was like a game changer for me when I moved into where I live now. Cause like once again, I've never hung things up on my wall before. And so like even just hanging up paintings or like a clock, I'm like, wow, I don't have to like put the clock on the table anymore. Or like I don't have to find like I don't have to share like the side table with the painting. The painting's on the wall. Like it's wild to me. It's as it should
I like
be, but
storage.
Oh, I grew up in my childhood home with like a little shelf hung up above my bed, right above where my head would go with the pillows. So every night going to bed as a kid, I'd be like, today's the day it falls on me. Today's the day I take a shelf to the forehead.
Did it ever happen though?
It did not. But it was a
You were
constant
saved.
fear I had.
When I was very young, my room was really small and I wanted a bookshelf, but we didn't have the means for me to be able to get a bookshelf. And so I built one out of cardboard boxes and
Ooh.
tape.
Wow.
Except for this thing was like it almost went to my ceiling because I had like a bunch of books that I wanted to like. I would go to the used bookstore and I would just buy a whole bunch of books that were like cheap that looked interesting, and then I would like read all of them. And so I had this bookshelf made of boxes, but boxes aren't the most like sturdy thing.
Yeah.
Yes, they
And
are.
one day when I was out of my room, we just heard a really loud noise, and I went in, and the entire bookshelf had collapsed.
No.
Oh no.
Tragedy.
Right? It lasted me for a good. I remember having it for a good several years.
Oh wow. The cardboard just never died.
Yup,
That's
until one
great.
day it just is just like I give up and fell down.
That's funny that you mentioned that though, because you just reminded me. When I was still living with Mama and Papa Renee, when I was in college, Mama Renee decided one day, and I don't know why, that I no longer needed my desk.
Oh,
So she sold it or gave it away to her friends and didn't tell me. So I came home one day and I was
lovely.
like, my desk is gone. Why is my desk gone? She was like, when's the last
Something
time
looks
you've used
different.
Yeah, she's like, when's the last time you used your desk? I was like, I'm sure yesterday. Like I use it for stuff. Like, yeah, I do a majority of my schoolwork like on my bed or on my floor. But I do use my desk for like very specific things. Like, so like when I would like play games with my friends, it was always on my desk, right? So like I used it for stuff, but just not school stuff. And so therefore, and thusly, Mama Renee thought I'd never used it. So to make up for it, and now because I didn't have a place to like put things on, I had taken these plastic containers that I had saved all of my high school material in there, because I'm a little bit of a pack rat in the way of like, oh, like maybe I'll need to reuse some of these, or maybe I could like refer to some of these Japanese resources that I got when I was in high school for my college classes, right? So like I had them all saved in these boxes, and so I stacked them up like two boxes each, and sort of like had them across like in a line underneath my window, and then I put an old tablecloth over it, and that was my desk.
Oh no.
So
Goodness.
it's just like I'd have to sit like Seiza style and like do my homework.
And do your work. Oh no.
Yeah, but at least it was like underneath the window, which was kind of nice. So in a lot of ways, I wrote a lot of English essays like from summer college courses at that makeshift desk. But like, you know, in a lot of ways it was better than my old desk just because the desk was so big that I couldn't put it underneath the window. So I was always like, oh, I don't have any natural light when I work. So like having it underneath the window was really nice, but it was also just like I had a desk and then I
It was a
didn't.
perfectly
And then
good desk.
yeah, and then I had to settle for boxes and a tablecloth. So but that's that. We went from dream housing to MacGyvering furniture. But that's
Well, that was
okay.
mine. Yeah. All right.
I'm looking around, and my room has like 2 little shelves that are, I suppose, meant to be bookshelves. And now that I think about it, now that you're putting this thought in my head, all my books are under my bed.
You dingus, put them on your shelf.
I just keep
Well,
all
no,
my
I
books
don't know.
in
Are they
boxes under
books
the
that
bed.
are okay to have in public? Is my
Well,
concern.
No, like all my
This
books.
guy we're talking about.
All of my books are under my bed, like my cookbooks, my everything. Like, because my shelves are just full of like picture frames. I've got some shikishi boards with like signatures from like voice actors and stuff. Like all the display items are on the shelves. And then all the books that no one cares about but me are like in just like tucked in boxes under my bed.
Oh no, you should make room for them on your shelf.
No, don't worry. No, not yet. When he moves, then that would be.
Oh yes.
Because
Yes.
otherwise he's gonna have to pack them up anyways, right?
Yep. They're all
Yeah.
perfectly in boxes. All my light novels. I've got most of the volumes of Goblin Slayer. I've got Rise of the Shield Hero.
Ooh.
My books are also under my bed, but my bed is a loft bed, so the bookshelf is built into the side of the bed.
Yes,
That is
I love
true.
that so much.
Mhm.
One of my college friends did that where she had like, so it was like a bunk bed, but she would sleep on the top bunk, and then the bottom bunk she just used as like an open space for like her desk and stuff. I thought that was absolutely genius. I love that.
Yeah, that's
It
what my
saves so much
setup is. Which
space.
it works for a long time, but once you're to the point that you're like, I'd like to have my own space in life now, it's kind of small.
Wow.
I'm not
Fascinating.
of the size where that would work for me.
No, I can't imagine.
It's a good thing I'm short. Otherwise, I would have probably gone crazy earlier. But
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm getting there. I'm getting to the point that I'm like, ooh, I wish I had. I wish I had space to VR. I wish I could like have a kitchen that I have priority.
Oh,
for
I'm so
using instead of family priority with the kitchen. There's been so many times like I've taken stuff out to defrost it, and then Dad DM puts it away because it's a mess out on the countertop, and I was like, I was defrosting it. I was gonna make stuff, and then nope, it's the family's kitchen, so you're not allowed to have anything out.
No, that
my
makes me
kitchen
sad.
is going to be just covered in cables and wires when I set up like cameras and stuff for streaming. It's gonna be great. My whole apartment's just gonna have like wires running everywhere.
Don't trip on them.
I will do my best not to, but I don't know
Okay.
what'll happen when guests come over. So
You can just like there's like cable holders and stuff, so you don't have to just have it like out like a freaking.
I'm going to carpet my floor with cables.
Oh, he's gonna ghost in the shell his house. All right.
It's a look.
It is a look. So, Harune, how about you? What's your topic?
Yeah. So, my topic is the differences, and perhaps some are worse than others, between manga and anime. And it was just more of a discussion rather than like... Yeah, it's more of a discussion rather than like something I researched, but like... So this topic sort of stems from the fact that I recently started rewatching and then eventually got to reading Cardcaptor Sakura.
Oh, yeah, there's some differences in that one.
There's significant differences. Like, they still managed to get the plot points the same, but like somehow also by like scrapping incredibly like what I would consider important scenes. But it just got me thinking. So, like, for example, first off, I should preface by saying Cardcaptor Sakura is like a great manga, and I really, really liked it. But like there are some things in there that have not aged well.
What, you mean the elementary school teacher being in love with and getting engaged to his 4th grader student?
Oh, I've got something to say about that too.
Wait, were they engaged?
Yep. Yes.
When did they get engaged? I knew they were in a relationship.
Rings. They exchange rings.
What chapter was that in? Wait, no, don't. I'll look that up later.
You'll find it.
Yeah, I'll look it up.
I have a similar series to talk about later on.
And then I don't remember if it got like. I don't think it got too in the manga. I don't think it was too explicit with the brother and the other guy.
They like straight up say that like they love each other, like.
Yeah, but it wasn't. It wasn't like. Yeah, it was still like.
Yeah, it was still very tame. It was just like.
Yeah, it was tame. That's the word. Good word.
Yeah, Yukito chose Toya to be like as his love, and Toya loves Yukito back, and like that was that, and that was fine. That was like whatever.
Yeah.
And then, but Sakura's parents, her dad was just like a fresh out of college teacher, and he fell in love with Sakura's mom, who was a student at the time, and I think she was 16. So they married when she was 16.
Oh, yeah, there was that.
Yes.
Yep.
So, like, but, yeah.
I mean, given the values of, like, back then in Japanese society, I feel like that one people wouldn't have blinked so hard on.
In the 90s? To get married to a 16-year-old?
In the 90s? I don't know. Like, I think having a relation, like, being a teenager and then having a relationship with like a young teacher didn't seem so bad in Japan in the 90s. I could be totally wrong. I don't know that as a fact. Someone can look into that for me, but
I don't know why I thought it was from the 80s, and I'm just like, I feel like that one's less like shocking than the grade schooler one, but
that was another thing too.
It is less shocking than the grade schooler.
Yeah. Another thing I totally forgot too is that when Toya was in middle school, so this is Sakura's older brother, when he was in middle school, he had a relationship with his teacher.
Yeah. That was another side story thing.
Yeah.
Clamp, are you okay?
No, Clamp is not okay.
Clamp, are you okay?
Clamp is not okay.
No, clearly not. But like all those things aside, like going between the manga and the anime, there was actually quite a few things that they kept. Okay? They kept the fact that Rika-chan, which is Sakura's friend who like is crushing hard on her teacher, they sort of kept that there was something there, but in the anime they made it look like it was just like an elementary school like crush that like meant crush, nothing. Right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it never showed like the teacher ever reciprocating those feelings, except for one scene where like he's taking classroom attendance and he just looks over at her and he blushes, and I was like, what is this?
Yep.
What is that? But
like, sir, you are an elementary school teacher. You have a duty to
like
not
what could
be
he
a creep.
Like, I can't imagine that any adult would like look at a 4th grader and be like, I see a woman in that. Like, you know, like I don't know, but we're not here to discuss that. We're just here to talk about like the differences between the anime and the manga. But
differences kept, yeah.
But so they kept that there. They kept Toya and Mizuki Sensei, like their relationship. They talked several times about how Sakura's parents their relationship was like something that her mom's family really frowned upon. And all that stuff, right? They kept all of that in. But what shocked me was that at the end of the anime, like, so spoiler alert, I guess, for anyone who's never seen Cardcaptor Sakura or read the manga, Xiaoran goes back to Hong Kong at the end. Yes. And in the manga, Xiaoran has already confessed to Sakura, like, says he likes her, and then she has to sort of, like, figure out exactly how she feels about Shaoran. And this is before she even knows that he's moving away. Or maybe maybe she does know already. I actually can't remember. But she goes around, and as she's walking around and contemplating, she runs into each of her friends, and each of her friends sort of gives her a little bit of advice, like based on a different question that she asks. And she runs into Rika-chan, and she's at the park, and she's like, oh, I'm on my way to meet somebody. And Sakura's like, oh, well, I don't want to keep you. And she's like, oh, but you're crying, so you want to talk a little bit? I have time.
Yeah.
And so she says, oh, no, this must have been after she found out, because she's like, oh, Rika-chan, you have someone you like, right? Like, what do you do, like, if you can't, like, see him a lot or whatever? And she's like, well, I can, I do get to see him pretty often, but I don't get to talk to him because of his job. And like Sakura's like, he has a job, but
it's like, ma'am,
but she's like, yeah, pretty much like, oh, but Rika sort of says like, oh, like, just because we don't, just because I don't get to talk to him all the time, like, doesn't mean that he doesn't know how I feel. And like, and of course, like, out of context, this sounds like a great relationship and like yada yada, but it was like, it was like nice advice. And she has similar conversations with her other friends, and they totally get rid of that completely in the anime. Like, there is not a single scene where she like walks about and like has these discussions with her friends. And like with her other two friends, like with Chiharu-chan, who's like in a cute like little elementary school relationship like with her childhood friend, and they're like both in the same class, so it's like totally fine.
Yeah.
And like that one was just like a very like easy conversation, like, oh, like, what do you do if you've like hurt Yamazaki-kun, like, if you said something to hurt him? And she's like, well, I just say I'm sorry, and I expect that he will say it's okay, and we know that we don't do things intentionally to hurt each other, and that each time we just grow as a better like couple or whatever. So it's just like all good conversations, but they totally scrapped that completely in the anime. They actually did the ending so dirty. Like, the ending was so good in the manga, and was like so fulfilling, and like they just don't do that at all, and it just was very unfortunate. But it just made me
You're
think,
just
like,
sitting there being like, huh.
Yeah, I felt very underwhelmed after reading the manga, finishing it, and then finishing the anime and being like, what the heck is that? But it got me thinking, and I can already think of some other animes that have diverged, very strongly from the manga. But what experiences have you guys had that, from a manga that's been adapted into an anime that like really got it wrong? Like,
So
really
I have
screwed
a
up.
perfect one for this. So one of the ones, it's actually a more recent series. There's a series called Promise Neverland.
Oh, yes.
So Promise Neverland, the basic premise of it is that you're following this group of kids that are like at this, it seems like a kind of a private school orphanage kind of situation. And it turns out, and they're all super duper smart. And it turns out that it's all, in fact, part of an operation to make food for demons. And these demon creatures prefer, like, the smarter the kids are, the better the food. And so this group of kids decide to escape. And in, I think it was the second season of the anime, in the manga, there's a very, very important storyline that happens called Goldie Pond. And the anime completely did not include it whatsoever.
What?
It is probably the most important story arc in the entire series.
Was that the story arc that they did in the anime as like basically like 6 frames in a slideshow?
Yep.
No. What?
Yep. They get to know, like, a whole bunch of information is revealed about things. A lot of character development happens. There's a whole bunch of info that you get that makes the story it enriches everything. And they didn't put it in the anime at all.
I don't get that. Why did they think that was the best decision they could have made?
I don't know.
That's
It might have been
wild.
budget. It could have been like somebody that I don't know why exactly they did that. Like, and the thing is that the Promised Neverland manga was already like near the end when the anime got announced and everything. Like Goldie Pond had already happened.
It did.
Right.
It wasn't a case like Full Metal Alchemist. What they had
Right.
the issue with the first time with that was that they started making the anime, but the manga hadn't actually progressed into like the main story yet, so they had to adapt a new story for it. Which is why the original, like the Full Metal Alchemist anime, is different from Brotherhood, because Brotherhood actually follows the manga because it was made when the manga was finishing.
Also,
Right.
shout out
So-
to Brotherhood for just even happening in the first place. Like, a
God,
company
right?
just decided
They
that, like,
did-
yeah, it's worth
they're
doing.
Like, you know what? We're gonna redo this, man. But they still did it wrong, which is unfortunate.
Dang, see, like, what?
Like,
I don't
so,
like.
'cause the other thing with Brotherhood, like this is FMA is something I'm super passionate about. And the thing with Brotherhood was that because the original couple episodes from regular Full Metal are the same in the manga, they sped through them instead. So now you have the problem
Oh.
of there are people that start watching Brotherhood because they get recommended Brotherhood, and then they don't get as attached to some very key characters that have key things happen because the anime kind of fast forwards through it because these are the same, like this content is in the 10 episodes that are in the original Full Metal, but anime with different, slightly different interpretations of things involving the homunculi, so it's still not a good substitute if you were to be like, okay, watch these episodes first and then start watching Brother. It doesn't work still.
Right.
So I want them to do a third one.
Adaptation.
A third redo.
They did the
A third
movie.
redo.
They did the
Yeah.
live action movie that was also panned.
God.
Why do they keep going to live action? Like, when has it
don't
ever
know.
done well?
There's a
I
second
know
live
a
action movie
few.
that got announced for FMA, which is just making me more upset.
I know a few live action adaptations that went well.
I know you and I talked about
Kenshin-
Rurouni Kenshin.
Kenshin did
yeah.
good. Kenshin
Yeah.
did good because
Kenshin,
it's a samurai movie, and Japan can
Yes.
do samurai movies.
Yes.
Kenshin really dropped the ball on one aspect that I was super passionate about. Sagara Sanosuke
Yeah.
is
Okay,
my
okay.
favorite
They
character.
made him into a big goofy dingus in it.
He was my favorite character in the entire series, and he was.
They cut his, like, he was already a bit stupid in the manga, but they made him, they like cut his IQ by like 90% for the live action, which is just unfortunate.
No.
I hated his fist fight in the kitchen in the movie, but at the same
Yeah.
time, I really liked it because he was
I was gonna
fighting.
say, you
against,
told me it was funny.
he fought against Genkisuda, which, like, everything that happened in that scene I loved, but the fact that that scene was the way it was, I hated.
Yeah.
Understandable.
Yeah.
That
I like Sanosuke
the
a lot
rest of
too.
it, the rest of the movie was great.
Yep.
They did my boy dirty.
Yep. Poor Sano. They made him extra stupid
Oh.
just for comedic relief, even though he's a dingus, but he's not that stupid.
Right. He actually does his best as, like, supporting, not a main character, but, like, supporting.
Yeah, he's a strong supporting character.
Yes. I can never remember the term for a strong support. Yes, that's it.
Oh, sad. Kai, do you have any examples that have hit you quite deep?
Yes,
of
I have
differences between manga and anime?
one positive and one negative example, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yes. In late high school, early university, there was a slice of life sketch comedy series that I really enjoyed called Minamike,
Okay.
which is basically like the Minami family. And it is kind of like a 4-coma type comedy manga following these three sisters. There's like the eldest sister, Haruka, the middle sister Kana, and the little sister Chiaki. It doesn't really delve into like family circumstances or anything, but it's just kind of like day-to-day scenarios where like they go shopping, they make dinner, they go to school, and it's like all these silly little characters, just like
You're very soft for those kinds of stories, aren't you?
it's kind of in a similar vein to Danshi Kokosei no Nichijo, except it's following a family of three sisters.
Okay.
So I quite enjoyed it. Also because they had a supporting character that was what was his name?
It sounds like you don't care about him very much.
No. Hosaka, that's it. Like the character's name was Hosaka, but he was voiced by Daisuke Ono, and he was like
Heyo!
the funniest character in the show.
Well, of course,
And I
if he's
loved
voiced
I
by
loved the
him.
manga. I loved the anime even more. They had 4 seasons of the anime,
Oh wow, that's long.
except one of the seasons was they decided to go anime original with that season, and it was
Oh.
atrocious.
Oh
no.
no!
They
Oh, no.
introduced an anime original only character named Fuyuki, who was the neighbor and classmate to the youngest sister. Like he lived close by and was in her class, and he was just the most depressing character to watch
Oh no!
in a
Uh-huh.
sketch comedy show.
Oh no.
He had a difficult home situation and was a bit of a doormat in that he can't say no to anything that bullies tell him to do at school.
Ah.
And
Yeah, that's not comedy.
it wasn't
not
at all.
comedy, that's
And
bad.
they would like take time out of comedy sketches to have the youngest sister interact with him and try to like break him out of his shell. And
Oof.
the season ends with him not having changed at all, and he just moves away.
No.
Oh
what the heck?
no!
And I'm just like, I'm
What?
like, I understand its tragic circumstances, but what was the point of having this original character in a comedy anime?
Yeah, that's a fair point.
The creator of the series was like, all these characters are so happy, and I am sad, so I will make a sad boy.
Yeah,
Exactly.
he
Like-
was he was projecting.
That entire season, which is Minamike Okawari, like a lot of the fans just discount it entirely. I would go so far as to say you could watch every other season and just skip Okawari, and
That sounds
you would
like
not
something
you
I'd
would not
do.
be missing out like anything. It's still the comedy probably doesn't hold up as well like nowadays. It's like, more older formulaic jokes. So you've probably seen newer series do the jokes better,
Mm.
but it holds a soft spot in my heart every season except Okawari.
Oof.
So that's my negative example. I do have a positive example of a anime going different from the manga, just based on how much of it they chose to adapt.
Okay.
Mhm.
There is a series, again, it's a genre I'm kind of a sucker for, which is a slice of life coming of age story.
Man, you are you are choroi baby.
I have a genre I like, okay? It's called Usagi Drop.
I think that
I've
sounds
heard of that
familiar.
one.
Yeah, you might have told me about that before. I think.
Right. It's about this 30-year-old man named Daikichi, who
That's good.
one day Daikichi finds out that his grandfather passed away. So he goes to the funeral, and there he finds out that Daikichi, who's 30 years old, his grandfather has an illegitimate daughter with the housekeeper.
Oh no.
Oh, dang.
So at the funeral, there's this 6-year-old girl who none of the relatives want to take in. So he kind of steps up and takes guardianship over her to raise the child. And
Aw.
the manga is mostly about kind of like him not being her father, so to speak, but being a father figure. Like he quits smoking when she's around. He like quickly has to figure out how to take care of a child, how to enroll her into school, how to like cook, how to clean, because he's been like
Yeah.
living the solo 30-year-old life this entire time. And it's very heartwarming, and I really, really liked it. And at one point she goes to like preschool, and there's a boy there, and then she starts interacting with more people, and it turns out the boy has like a single mother. So Daikichi and the single mother start interacting, and it's all like very, very wholesome, and it's very, very nice.
Just like being a single parent, like raising their child, or not their child, but like
But like
having,
taking
like, yeah,
care,
just like
taking care of a
yes.
child. Yeah,
Yes.
it's very I loved it. I loved that series.
Oh, that sounds cute.
And the series ended with a 10-year time skip.
Ooh.
It shows her having grown up now. She is starting high school, and because she had a fight with that boy from preschool, they don't talk to each other anymore.
Oh no.
So Daikichi doesn't get many chances to interact with the single mom anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Aw.
And then they find out that it turns out Rin, the girl, was actually the daughter of the housekeeper. Due to very controversial circumstances. And
Wait,
to protect,
we knew she was the daughter of the housekeeper.
but not to the grandfather.
Oh no! So he's taking care of a child that's not related to him.
The grandfather adopted her to protect the housekeeper.
Oh.
Because it was like very circumstantial. Like, you know, like the circumstances were not favorable for the housekeeper. I don't want to get too deep into it, but
It
Yeah.
was like a Game of Thrones thing.
to protect her from public from like, you know, public scandal and all that.
From public scandal.
Exactly. The grandfather only adopted her, but claimed she was his daughter because he would rather take the scandal to the grave that, oh yeah, he had an affair at like 90 or whatever.
Yeah.
So they find out that they're not blood related, and 16-year-old Rin tells 40-year-old Daikichi that she doesn't want to go to high school. She wants to marry him and have his kid.
Whoa! Whoa, no!
That
No!
ending came out of nowhere. It ruined the series for me. And the anime and the live action drama did it right. They-
Just
Oh,
like,
good
"No,
God,
we'll keep this
what?
wholesome family.
They
Whoa.
adapted they adapted the manga only up until pre-time skip. They
Good.
ended on a note
Christ.
where it's still like they're still happy in preschool, and it ends with like the
And we don't
like,
have to deal with this like messed
Exactly.
up. Oh.
Jesus.
it ends with Daikichi and the single mom in a kind of like, oh, will they, won't they kind of situation. And I'm like, that's how Usagi Drop ended. The ending of
Yeah,
the manga
that's the
time
yeah.
skip arc? I don't know what you're talking about.
Wow.
This is just a fever dream that never happened.
I still wholeheartedly recommend the anime. The anime did it very well. I do not recommend the manga.
That is wild because very
Or-
similar to like book to movie adaptations, like people will like, you know, die on the hill of the book, right? Like they'll be like, no matter what sort of visual adaptation comes out, the book will always be better, sort of thing.
Yeah,
But, like,
I actually have a prime example for books and movies where the movie is better than the book.
wow. What would that
The
be? I'm
Princess
curious.
Bride.
Oh, okay. I actually never read the book.
The
I
book,
haven't either.
they kill off 90% of the cast.
Really?
And it's not good deaths. Yeah, it's not good
Oh
deaths.
goodness.
Yep.
Even Inigo Montoya?
Yep.
No, I'm learning the saddest things today.
Yeah.
What
So
the
the
heck?
book-
It's
But
okay.
the way
It's
that
okay.
it's written, the way that it's written, because the way the book is written is in a very odd perspective. It's like somebody who's commenting on how the novel is written, and essentially like, because you know how the grandpa is like, oh yeah, they live like happily ever after. Some kissing happens, and he like skips over stuff. And
Yeah.
he's essentially like the way that the unreliable narrator is for the book is how the grandpa's role is in the movie. And so
Right.
in the book, they're saying that, oh well, the author says that all of this happened, and like this is how this person died, and this person died like this, and this person died horribly and alone like this. But I choose to believe that it was the other way, blah blah blah. But if you're like going based off of what exactly the quote unquote author of the story would say, then all of the characters die like really horribly.
Yeesh.
Oh, that's almost like a Lemony Snicket sort of like.
Yeah,
These are the
right?
accounts, like, except
A
Lemony
series
Snicket
of
did it better.
most unfortunate events.
Yeah.
But it's okay. It's okay.
Wow.
How did I? We still have the remake to watch. It's okay. It's gonna be fine. We'll watch the remake together.
Wait,
DM,
what
DM.
remake?
The one I was telling you about.
Lemon Drop?
No,
Usagi Drop?
the
Sorry.
The
Oh yeah, the
Princess
Princess Bride.
remake.
That's right. That's right.
They're
That's right,
remaking
that's right.
The Princess Bride.
They remade the Princess Bride.
But you can't. Don't lead with it like that. Like it's a home video.
It's
Oh,
okay.
okay.
The
Yeah.
home movie. Have you heard of the home movie?
Yeah,
Princess
I've
Bride?
seen that one.
Oh, I was gonna say, do you want to watch it with us? Because Harune hasn't
I've
seen it
seen
yet.
it. I've seen it.
I haven't.
Do you
seen
still want to
I
watch it
love
with
the
us
Princess
anyways?
Bride. I could.
Yeah, it's so cute. But essentially, for the viewers that or listeners that don't know what I'm talking about, in 2020, they, as kind of like a fun little project, basically remade Princess Bride the movie beat for beat with like an ensemble cast in a COVID-19 restricted DIY fashion.
Yes. Yes.
So you have all these actors from Hollywood kind of just in their own living rooms making homemade costumes and props and stuff, kind of filming like each scene of the movie, and they cut it
Yep.
together. Except a lot of actors can't commit to a full role. So the same character will be like played by different
people.
actors in each scene.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty funny. Like the opening narration with the grandfather reading to the grandson. It's like you'll have one scene where the grandfather's like J.K. Simmons, and then it cuts to the grandson, and then it cuts back to the grandfather, and suddenly he's Giancarlo Esposito.
Yep.
And
Yep.
it's really funny the way they do it, because naturally they don't have a set, they don't have like
Yeah.
props and stuff, so they've
They
literally
make
got
their
like
own.
exactly, they're like holding brooms and wearing towels as capes and like wearing cardboard boxes. We're seeing all these A-listers wear like cardboard boxes on their heads and stuff. It's great. It's a really charming take on the movie, and I told Harune we would watch it since she hasn't seen it yet.
Yar.
And DM's invited.
Yeah.
Watch with
Yeah.
fans. Yeah. But
Yes.
yeah, so that was my topic. Was just dramatically different manga to anime
Mhm.
adaptations. But
Mhm.
it's actually like shocking to hear that there are some anime adaptations that are actually better than the manga. I respect that
Yes.
so hard.
Yeah. Right.
Yes.
That's pretty good. But yeah, so what about you, Kai? What's your topic?
Well, just a couple days ago, a very special event happened.
Mm-hmm.
It was Mom DM's birthday.
Wow! Pachi, pachi, pachi,
Yeah,
pachi,
Pachi
pachi.
Pachi
Yeah.
Pachi's indeed. Happy birthday to Mom DM. She got a birthday wish from a podcast.
She did.
Wow!
And in a couple days, it will also be my birthday.
Yeah.
Wow!
So I thought I was looking up, wow, I want to talk about the history of birthday cakes as a topic. And it turns out there's not a lot of history to birthday cakes. You could sum it up in
Oh.
about 2 sentences. So I was like, oh, well, that's,
Wait, can you sum
Quite.
that up for me?
Yeah, essentially the Greeks used to put candles in cakes to light it up like the moon, but then the Germans were the ones that really started doing it in birthday party fashion.
Wait, why
Like
do they
the
want to light it up
moon.
like the moon? Why not like the
'Cause
sun?
it was cakes were an offering to like the goddess. I think it was Artemis. They said,
Oh yeah.
and so they stuck candles in it to make it. It was a moon-shaped cake where they stuck candles to it, but
Hmm.
like specifically for the purpose of celebration of birthdays. That's like more of a German thing.
I
But
love that.
yeah, that's kind of the history of birthday cakes, and then
I love
we had
that.
cakes. But I continued digging
wait.
into it. Oh,
Oh no, sorry. Go ahead. I was just gonna say from now on, I'm giving every birthday cake as an offering to Artemis. But now you can continue.
I was looking into other like birthday related topics,
Okay.
and I found like weird little traditions, how birthdays are celebrated around the world, kind of thing. And I thought it was pretty interesting because I didn't know a lot of these things.
Okay.
So for once, I've got more of a researched topic that Harune usually specializes in.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I sort of flubbed on research lately.
But
That's fine.
he's okay. Don't worry about it. But we kind of brought it up a little bit earlier in like a preamble, but Chinese people don't really celebrate, like, because when we think birthday, we think once a year on the day you were born, you have a cake, you have some presents, da 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 da. Like in China, people don't really do that.
Yeah.
They have a tradition where they would serve egg noodles. And these long egg noodles, you're meant to like slurp it up, like
Yeah,
And
you're
they
not
think,
supposed to like cut it or break
exactly.
it.
The
Oh.
longer you slurp it, it like symbolizes longevity. So it's kind of more of a wish for a long life kind of thing.
Yes.
Mhm.
But they don't really celebrate the day itself of, wow, you were born, you're a year older.
Mm-hmm.
They also kind of do a thing with like the lunar calendar versus like the Roman calendar,
Yeah.
but I'm a little less familiar with that. Similarly, in Japan, they traditionally, nowadays it's more westernized, but traditionally they don't really also do yearly birthdays. I might pronounce this wrong, but DM, you might know this more. They have this thing called Shichigo-san,
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Chichiko-san. Yeah.
where it celebrates a child's third, fifth, and seventh birthdays
Yes.
as more significant birthdays, where they would like dress them up really nice, have a big feast, and take them to the shrine and everything like that.
Yeah. I think that's along the lines of the yay, you still survived.
Yes,
Remnants
traditionally,
of society.
Yeah.
exactly. Like
Like
in
not naming your
olden
child until they
times.
hit a certain like age because
You don't want to get too
Other-
attached.
yeah.
Child mortality rates were pretty high in olden day Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also, did you know that in South Korea, they celebrate birthdays and Mother's Day, surprisingly, with mukguk, which is seaweed soup.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know
There's been
anything about South
many a
Korean
plot point.
traditions.
There's many a plot point in K-dramas of like the orphaned child or the child kicked out from their family and it's their birthday and they wind up like making themselves seaweed soup, or like one of their friends shows up like unannounced and like, I have seaweed soup for you, it's your birthday, and then they cry and it's very emotional.
Hey.
It's their not their equivalent to birthday cake, but it's traditionally believed to be the seaweed soup. It replenishes a lot of nutrients, which mothers need after childbirth. So Mother's Day, it's kind of like a symbolization of like a healthy life
Yeah.
that they present for Mother's Day and birthdays. On the completely opposite end of the spectrum, now that we're done talking about the healthy, let's talk about the unhealthy. In Australia, do you know about fairy bread?
Yes.
Yes. Fairy bread
That's
is
birthday?
Toast
a
with
birthday
butter
thing.
and sprinkles.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's the thing. It's highly contested online whether or not you should toast fairy bread.
Really?
A lot of people say you shouldn't. There were some YouTubers that got in trouble, or like not in trouble, but like people like were really riled up in their comments because they
mad at them.
toasted their fairy bread. But
Wow.
like,
for those that
when
don't
you
know,
toast it, it's like a
Mhm.
stiffer bread. It holds things better.
yeah, well, this is an Australian tradition. They don't care about your stiff bread American sensibilities.
We gotta ask Rafung.
I gotta. I have asked Vivi, Vividly
Okay.
Vivi, who is Australian as well. She said traditionally they don't toast it, but for those that don't know, fairy bread is essentially a slice of white bread, just like plain old Wonder White bread, slathered in butter, and then has rainbow sprinkles, or as they call it, hundreds and thousands sprinkled on top of it.
Hundreds and thousands.
And I've mentioned it before. I'm going to say it again. Once I move out
You're
and
gonna
have
do a
access to
video
my
on
own
fairy
kitchen,
bread?
I'm gonna do a cooking with Kai with fairy bread.
Heck yes! That's gonna be
Let's
so
go.
good.
Are you gonna make the bread from
I'm-
scratch?
I'm gonna bake my own bread. I'm gonna churn my own
Nice.
butter, and I'm
You're
gonna
making-
No,
make
you're
hundreds
not.
of thousands. I am. No, I am.
You're gonna churn your own butter.
I'm gonna make my own butter, and I'm gonna make my own hundreds and thousands, which is why I've been asking people if they have a food dehydrator, and nobody's answered my call.
Oops.
So
I gave you links to food dehydrators.
you did. Thank you, DM. Thank you. But hundreds and thousands takes about 24 hours to make.
It's actually not so bad.
I'm not gonna do a 24-hour stream for hundreds and thousands.
Yes, you can.
You said you were just gonna do a stream on fairy bread.
gonna
You can just make your
celebrate
hundreds
it,
and
yeah.
thousands beforehand.
Uh-huh.
That's no fun.
Why do you make this more complicated for yourself?
Because I'm a complicated person, Harune.
Yeah, you are. Okay. Enjoy
Okay,
your
what
hundreds
other
and thousands in 24 hours.
what other traditions do we have in Germany? Now, this is apparently a German one. When people turn 30 and they're still single, apparently there's a tradition where single men that turn 30 will go out to City Hall and start sweeping the steps while dressed in drag
Wait,
until It says here, traditionally they sweep the steps of City Hall while dressed in drag until they could find a virgin to kiss.
Wait, what do you mean traditionally? Like, when did this start?
When was the starting year for this? I would like to know.
Traditionally.
It doesn't say exactly when this started, but it says
Okay.
it's been modernized these days where it's not just men or women that are single at 30 would just sweep the steps. They don't have to do it in drag, and they don't need a virgin to kiss them to stop sweeping. It's
So
just
then when
kind
do
of
they stop?
it's just to show others that they're eligible for marriage. So
I see.
they'll sweep with their friends, they'll go drink some booze and call it a day.
Oh, okay, all right. I was gonna say that I don't know what about that sounds fun unless if friends are somehow involved.
Right?
In Brazil and Jamaica,
Ooh.
apparently on your birthday, they'll do something called antiquing you,
Okay.
where
Okay.
Brazilian kids will basically smash a bag of flour over your head so that you're all dusty and white and covered in flour, so you look like an antique.
Cool.
That's cute.
And it says here there's a Canadian equivalent, which I've never heard of in all my years in Canada. I've never seen this happen.
Mhm.
All your life.
Apparently, instead of flour, apparently they smear butter on your nose in Canada for
Oh,
your
what?
birthday.
I have
Somehow
never heard of that either.
That actually sounds familiar to me, and I don't know why.
You're the only non-Canadian here. Why does it sound
I
familiar?
know.
to you?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm close enough to Canada that maybe some traditions have sort of slid down. I've never seen it happen, but I've like gone to school with a couple of like kids whose parents have immigrated from Canada. So it is possible I've seen it at a birthday party when I was a kid or something. I'm not super
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
I've never
I
seen it.
have some extended family members who like have some sort of lineage in Canada, and I can ask them if they are familiar with that. Maybe it's something that's like totally out of practice now, or maybe only more common in certain areas, but I'd be curious if that's something like people still do today.
I've not heard of it. All we get here are birthday beats.
What?
Birthday beats.
Like a song?
No, like people
No,
punch you in
like-
the arm the number of times that your age is.
Yeah.
So if you
Oh,
turn
yeah, like
20, you
birthday
get punched
spankings
20
and stuff.
times.
That sounds horrible. What the heck? I'd hate that.
Yeah, it sucked. I hated it. I hated it growing up. I still hate it now.
I'd hate like you guys have played the slug bug game, right?
Yeah.
Slugbug?
I did not like Slugbug.
No,
I don't
I
know
don't
Slug Bug.
either. I don't like anything that involves like punching or getting punched or like
Kai,
St.
do you know what
Patrick's Day,
Slugbug
if you
is?
j-
I do not know what Slugbug is.
So Slugbug is a game that you usually play with a sibling or people on the school bus.
it's
And
very
any-
much
whoever's-
siblings.
Whoever's the first person to see a beetle, like a Volkswagen Beetle type car, you
Oh.
punch them as hard as you can.
And you say slug bug.
Yep.
So you see the bug and you slug them.
Slugbug.
It's very annoying.
Yes.
Oh no, we played a different game on our schoolyard that had a very unfortunate name.
Schoolyard. All right, Kai, bring it. What's it called?
In grade school during recess, we had a game called Whip,
Okay.
Okay.
which doesn't sound great when talking about an elementary school and a whip. But it was kind of like dodgeball, except it was one child would stand against the wall,
Okay.
and then every other child basically stands opposite them, a la firing squad, with a tennis
Okay.
ball.
Oh no.
And you just take turns whipping the ball at them, and they have to
And then they have
dodge
to
it
dodge.
dodgeball style. And if they dodge your ball, you take their place against the wall.
Oh no.
Oh, cool.
Pretty sure it was just bullying because I wasn't very good at whip.
Oh no.
I think I was
No.
bullied as a kid. I'm not sure. But no, yeah. I've not heard of Slugbug.
That's
Yep.
interesting.
Slugbug.
Yeah, I hate
Look.
slug bug though.
But anyways, back to birthdays. What I wanted
Yes.
to ask was, do you guys have any kind of personal or family kind of traditions, not like cultural or anything, just something you and your family do for birthdays, or something extra memorable from a birthday that you guys can think of? Let's not make it about
Um,
my birthday. Let's make it about your birthday.
In my house, one of the traditions was growing up that if it was your birthday,
Mm.
that you would get a box of cereal. So
Ooh.
like
Oh.
your favorite cereal. Because when I was growing up, like we would usually get the really, really cheap big bags of cereal.
Mm-hmm.
And so if it was your birthday, you would get a box of like the fancy stuff, and the fancy stuff was name brand things. So I would almost always get peanut butter Captain Crunch because that one was
Oh,
my
Captain
favorite
Crunch
one.
is
Oh.
so
So like
good.
you wake up in the morning and it's your birthday, and there's just a box of Captain Crunch sitting on the table, and you're just like,
And it's
Yes.
all it's all for me. It's all for me kind of thing.
mm-hmm.
That's
That's
cute.
awesome. I love that. Anything else?
That's pretty much the main one.
I love that.
The main
That's
one. Yep,
awesome.
you get your box of cereal.
That's
That's
cute.
that's dope. For my family, and it's really Mama Rune refuses to participate, so that's because she is of Asian descent and refuses to acknowledge birthdays when it is hers.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Papa Rune and I will do birth week, where because especially like when he was working and now that I'm working, I don't know, there's like, at least for me personally, like there's a bit of guilt with taking the day off for my birthday. Like somehow it just doesn't feel justifiable, even though like if my friend told me that they were taking a day off for their birthday, I'd be like, oh yeah, go for it, that's totally well deserved. Like your birthday only comes once a year. Like, but for myself, somehow I can't justify it. So what we'll do is the week leading up to your birthday, we'll like either like buy them like little things, or like treat them to like a treat or a small meal or something, just like little things that sort of show that like, hey, everything that we're doing is like for you, for your birthday. So it's not like we celebrate their birthday every day of the week, because that can be, you know, that's a little bit of a lot. But it's just like, you know, like small things that you wouldn't be able to fit within a single day. So, so for example, Papa Rune's birthday was earlier this month, and we actually had something planned for his birthday because it fell on a very convenient time of the year. So like we took him to see the new Fantastic Beasts movie, which I think is called, not like, it was The Secrets of Dumbledore. It's not even about Fantastic Beasts anymore. Secrets of Dumbledore. We like made reservations for a nice restaurant that was super close by. I went and got him a cake. We got him some balloons. So it was like a very normal birthday, but like the days leading up to that was also like, hey, I'm gonna pick up a box of donuts for you because it's your birth week. Or oh, you're looking at this item, like how about I, you know, split half of the payment price with you or something, or let me buy it for you as like part of birth week. You know what I mean? So it's like these small little gestures that sort of like lead up to the week. And that's how we do it. Especially because like over the weekend, like we all have a little bit more time and we can sort of like spoil the other person more. So that was what we did recently. So Papa Renee's birthday was quintessentially birth week, and it was very fun. Papa Renee gets very excited for birth week.
Wow.
Mama Renee even said, she was like, he was celebrating birth week like, so his birthday fell on a Friday this year, so it should have been like Friday to Friday, but he started celebrating like the Monday before. So
he's just like, yay, it's coming soon.
Pretty much, yeah. So he would like buy himself chocolate and be like, well, it's birth week. Or he like bought himself a box of cookies, like, it's birth week. So like everything he did was like, it's birth week.
Goodness.
Mama
It's
Renee.
birth week. I can do
It's
this.
birth week.
It's birth week.
Exactly. And it's like even just like deciding to like treat yourself because it's birth week. You know what I mean? So it's like just sort of like saying, hey, you know what, you're allowed to sort of spoil yourself, and you're allowed to spoil your your family member if it's their birth week and stuff. But that just happens like with my immediate family. Like my cousins, we don't do that for my cousins or anything like that. I had a cousin, I think I mentioned this before. Interrupt me if I have, but I had a cousin who didn't quite understand that their birthday only came once a year. So they were under the impression that if it was like, so for example, if their birthday was like on the 5th, right? Then they thought the 5th of every month was their birthday. So like when they were like a toddler through like early elementary school, every month on, for, like I said, just hypothetically the 5th, they would always like sing her happy birthday. They wouldn't get her a present or anything like that or get her a cake, but they would just like either stick a candle in her dinner or just give her a cookie or something, and they'd sing happy birthday. But yeah, so that was that family's sort of routine, but they of course no longer do that. But yeah, so I guess very specifically for my immediate family, our
nice.
thing is birth week.
Birth week.
Yeah. It just like takes the pressure off of that day as well, because then you're like, no, we have a whole week to sort of like do things together, and that's okay, So I quite like it. I shared that with one of my friends, and they were like, that sounds dumb, and I was like, oh no, what?
Jeez.
Really? You think that's dumb? They're like, that's totally overkill, and I was like, no, it's not. What do you mean? Like, going all out on a single day seems like overkill, and it's like not always convenient for everyone. So I felt so justified, and I felt like good about sharing, birth week, and they're like, no, that's dumb. And I was like, oh, all right, it's fine. What about you, Kai?
So for me, birthdays are almost always associated with a particular flavor of cake. My family doesn't really like, we do very normal kind of like small celebrations kind of thing, where we would buy a small cake and then we'd cut it up and have it after dinner kind of thing for a birthday. But Mama Kai is, I don't want to say picky.
Yes, you
but
do.
She's very particular in that if we got other cakes, she would always not really participate. My favorite cake is cheesecake. I quite enjoy cheesecake. But she's not very fond of cheese. Or like something like a chocolate cake that's too sweet, or like, Black Forest, Red Velvet, etc., etc. There's always something about it. Essentially, it boils down to it isn't chestnut cream cake.
Oh.
So every year, for everyone's birthday, no matter whose birthday it is, we would get a small chestnut cream cake. Just so Mama Kai would eat cake with us.
Oh, goodness.
No.
It's gotten to the point where it happens so often that Papa Kai just buys me chestnut cream cakes saying, oh, it's your favorite. And like, I mean, I do like it, but
it's clearly not my favorite.
It's just strongly associated as the family favorite. And the most memorable one for me is when I realized I became an adult. I think it was my first birthday after getting a driver's license. Without any hint of animosity or anything. I think my dad's way of thinking is just different. From other people's. I woke up on my birthday and there was no cake for once. It was just like, oh, that's a little odd. Like, there's always been a cake when you wake up on your birthday. And so I didn't say anything. I just went downstairs and we went about our day. We had breakfast. Like, everyone said happy birthday to me and all that. And then after lunch, my father pulled up a pair of car keys and handed them to me. He didn't gift me a car. No, let's not be silly. I don't have a car still. He just gave me the keys to the family van and was like, oh yeah, if you want cake, go ahead, get it yourself.
Oh my god. What the heck? That's
just
so
sat there thinking,
depressing.
like, oh, I guess I'm an adult now.
No.
Oh,
So
That
this
should
is
not
what
have been
growing
your
up is like.
birthday. No, it's not. No,
So
it's not.
man.
Don't
I
associate that with adulthood. Even adults. Papa
no,
Renee,
I think this was like my 16th or 17th birthday.
that's
Um,
awful.
like after that, in recent years, we just go back to the family buying cake kind of thing. I very much remember that one birthday where he just like handed me the car keys. I was like, oh yeah, go ahead and get yourself a cake.
Hate
He
that
he
for
handed me
you.
the car keys and then like a $10 bill.
Hate that for
So
you.
I went to the bakery and I picked out a slice of cheesecake because I knew no one else was going to eat cheesecake if I brought home cheesecake. So
Yeah.
I went and bought a small slice of cheesecake for myself, and then because $10 wasn't enough, I paid for another chestnut cake out of my
Oh,
wallet and brought it
So
home. And we had
you bought a cake for a parent who wouldn't have eaten your cake, and you had to pay for it. You just got a
man.
slice of your own. That's not normal.
it.
No.
I know it sounds like I'm framing it like a really bad thing. Like I'm sure my dad didn't mean anything by it, kind of thing. I think he might have been busy that day or whatever, and nobody really thought super hard about it, about
But
how it would look.
still,
It's not a big deal. I mean, like,
but it is.
I'm going to. You know what? You were saying about how you didn't want to bring up like the moving out because you and your brother are moving out at the same time. Bring up moving out.
Yeah,
Make
just
'em
be like,
sad.
man, I can't
Make 'em
wait to have
sad.
a cheesecake all to myself for my birthday. Finally.
it's still so rare for me to have cheesecake these days. The only time I get cheesecake is if I'm going out, like, and having dinner without the family.
You deserve cheesecake.
I want
Yeah.
cheesecake so bad. I love cheesecake.
See, and you should be having that every year for your birthday. If you love it,
Mhm.
that's
I
what you
mean-
should be
Mhm.
getting.
You deserve it. You should have cheesecake.
Yeah.
I love it because, like, as a kid, the first cake I ever learned how to bake was a lemon cheesecake,
Mhm.
Ooh.
and then no one in my family ate any.
No.
Like at the
More for
time, I was
you.
like, "Oh, so positive! Wow, I get a whole cheesecake to myself." And it's like I made a cake and nobody ate it. I'm just like, "Oh,
Oh.
There is actually nothing more sad. Like when people bake desserts, and that's like something that I've learned after like more regularly like baking desserts on my own. Like whether you cook or bake, to be honest, like if no one
Mhm.
else eats your food, that is the single most like devastating feeling ever.
Yeah, when you
Yeah.
make food for people and nobody touches it, you're just like, oh,
Yes.
okay.
I packed a
Yes.
whole picnic. I packed a whole picnic for a beach trip with my friends,
And no one ate it?
No one touched any of the food.
I'm going to
What?
murder them.
Yeah.
For legal reasons, that's a joke.
Yeah, we do not condone violence on this podcast. We just
I will verbally.
That was the
We will
worst beach
slay.
trip.
Jeez.
It was on top of the fact that nobody touched any of the food for the picnic because they're like, "Oh no, we're on a diet. Oh, I'm watching my figure." Like I just made sandwiches and like small things like that, like just finger foods, really.
Mhm.
And
Oh wait, did you go with a bunch of girls?
yes, that was the one where it was like mostly. I think it was like 6 girls to 2 guys. The only
Okay.
one that ate with me was the other guy
Well, I would then
And
say that like
the-
not. Oh, go ahead.
at the beach. The only one who got on the sand and got in the water was me and the other guy. I don't know
Yeah.
why these girls organized a beach trip. They organized it and then invited us. And then they spent the entire trip just their beach towels were on the grass behind the sand.
Wait, what?
They set up a beach towel, they set up an umbrella, and they were all just doing like an impromptu little book club. They pulled
Well-
out books and they all just started talking about books. They're like, "Oh no, I don't want to get tanned. Oh no, I don't want to get wet." And it was just like a seaside book club, and I was like, "But it's the beach. But it's the
But
beach."
you know what? Then that
Okay,
was
weird
just
women.
Yeah, but I would then just say that was like a conflict of interest. Like
I think so,
Quit-
but
Yeah.
it was if they invited me to a seaside book club meeting, I would have prepared for that. But they said, "Hey, we're going to the beach. You and so are invited too." So we're like, "Oh yeah, heck yeah!" And then like we came like already lathered in sunscreen. I got like a picnic basket and everything. He's got like all this like cool water like equipment. He brought like I think like 6 water guns.
no.
enough for everyone,
No.
and it was just me and him. And it was just
Yeah,
Jeez.
that's a shame. Then yeah, they phrased it totally wrong.
Yeah, I think
Because
one of
what
them
they
pulled
thought
a
was
one of the girls literally pulled a book out, just put it over her face, and then fell asleep for like 3 hours.
yeah, that's a conflict of interest.
Why are
Like,
we
that's
here?
yeah.
Why did we show up? It's not
That's a
even.
shame.
I mean, as a guy, it's not even something I can brag about. I went to the beach with a group of girls. No, nothing like.
Why would you brag
Literally.
about that anyway?
Exactly.
It's a guy thing.
It's a guy
It's a
thing.
guy
Like
thing. Don't worry. It's a guy
me,
thing.
me and the other
Okay.
guy, we never brought up that trip ever again. We didn't talk to. It was like it was over the summer when we were in high school. We didn't tell any of the other guys it happened. We just like, we can't talk about this. This is
Pretended it never
our
happened.
Our pride can't take it.
Wow.
It was, man. How did we get to this? I thought we were talking about birthdays.
You were the one who segued it, sir.
I did. Oh no, because we were talking about like people not eating food you make.
Oh yeah.
You
that's right.
segued
You're
it,
just
sir.
feeling
No,
devastated.
that was Harunai. Harunai segued that.
It's okay. Either way.
Nope, I blame Kai. Girls blaming
Okay,
Kai.
I'll blame Kai too. Kai, it's your fault.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's my birthday. You can't say that. Birth week.
Birth week. Spoken like a true Rune family member.
Can't say that.
Birth week.
No, not my fault. No, can't. No.
Birth week. That's something Papa Rene would say too. Like, it's birth week and you're gonna yell at me. It's birth week and you're gonna blame me.
It's birth week.
Oh,
You can't do that.
God, my dad's the same way. On his birthday, he'll just keep repeating the phrase, "You can't because I'm the king today."
Oh.
It's, if we tell him to do anything, he's like, "No, you can't do that. I'm the king today." Or it's like when just go to bed early. I said so because I'm the king today.
Wow.
He's so
Power
childish.
trip day for the father.
He's so childish.
Well.
But yeah,
Ain't
that was
that
my
just the way?
topic.
Well, wow. Well, I'm glad that we like ended it on such a pleasant note. I felt like we had like, I don't know, as the weather gets warmer, I just like feel happier and my topics like become like more like seasonal oriented, if that makes any sense. Not that like my topic had anything to do with spring, but I just feel like, I don't know, like Girl DM is feeling in the like spirit of like spring renewal, and Kai is just getting in like the birthday vibes, and it just like feels very springy, you know?
Ah.
I don't know if that makes any sense to anyone, but like that's my vibe assumption for the day, and I feel good.
Let's just
Nice.
completely disregard everyone born in the summer, fall, and winter.
No,
Birth
that's
is a
not
spring
not-
thing. Birthday is a spring
no.
thing now.
May is a female thing. Kai can't
May-
speak.
May-
Yeah, May is the
Ah.
Women's Month, remember?
Yeah.
I've been
Guys canceled for May?
formally I've been not invited to May by Girl DM
Yes.
and Harunai.
No. By all women.
Yeah.
By all women, they're going on a
Every
beach
single
trip in the
woman.
May without me.
Yep.
They're gonna go read books on the grass next to the beach without
Yeah.
Yes. Perfect.
Yep.
me.
Yep.
That's the plan.
Yep.
Yep.
But yeah. Well, thank you
Well,
guys as
anyway.
always. Yeah, for joining, and for both Kai and Girl DM for taking the time out of our previously stated incredibly busy schedules to come together to record the season finale. And thank you for anyone who's been listening and has stuck with us since, season 1, or if you're new to us this season and you've just stuck around until the end, we equally appreciate it. It doesn't matter how long you've been here. We love you all the same. We don't have favorites. It's fine.
I
But,
do. Kai does.
yeah.
Kai has favorites.
Kai has favorites?
Yep.
Kai is your favorite.
Cheesecake.
Yep, there you go. There it is.
Do we have any closing announcements at all? Anything to share? I know May, we joked that May was Whammons month, but we have a couple
Whammons
of special things happening in May, right? Or
Yeah, well, it's
um,
going to be my 2nd anniversary of streaming.
Yay! Pachi. So please look out for
Yeah.
an announcement
For that.
regarding, I'm sure, some sort of
It
celebration
might.
in
It's probably
regards to
gonna
that.
be. It's probably gonna be already like. It's gonna have already happened. I think. When
Oh,
this
yeah,
goes
that's true.
live. 'Cause it's May
Well-
7th is mine. But
Oh,
if
that's
you
right.
came to it, I hope you enjoy.
Yeah.
Wow.
As I say this in the past, talking
in
about
the
the
far
future.
We're gonna have to like light a fire under Uya's butt to get episode 9 out, so we can get 10 out before the 7th. But I don't know if that'll happen. But hopefully
We'll
it's not
see.
too far past the 7th.
We'll see. It's
'Cause
fine.
that'll be nice. May 9th, you're gonna get a new and improved looking Harne coming to y'all. So I know I've been on a bit of a hiatus from streaming. I've still done like the GHK Radio stuff like as consistently as we have been, which hasn't been very consistent at all, but we've tried.
It was Easter last weekend. People needed
Yeah,
Easter
that's true.
family time.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. But but I should be back to it. So yeah, chances are by the time this episode comes out, I'll be back to streaming already. So but yeah, so those are my big excites. Girl DM's big excite, and Kai, do you have a big excite?
I do. Sadly, I don't think I'm going to meet the deadline of May. I'm probably not going to finish this until a little bit after, which is why I've formally been uninvited from May.
Yep,
That's
I don't get to be
fine.
special in May, but I am working on a new model as well.
Yeah.
Nice.
I am formally working on Kai 2.0.
Yay! Really excited. I've seen the design sheet for it, and
me too.
it's pretty slick. It's pretty good looking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for the 2.0 debut. So we have things to look forward to, and I'm very excited to be a part of it all. Whether I am hopping in chat on Girl DM's anniversary stream, or there for Kai's birthday stream, or his 2.0 debut. It's gonna be
That's right. I will also be having a birthday stream. I guess it's going to be a moot point because it's going to be happening. Wow, what a great birthday stream. Wow, thank you for showing up, Girl
I can't believe
DM.
that happened.
Yeah, thank you for showing up. I can't believe Harune didn't show up.
Listen, I'm gonna try, okay? I can't imagine I'll be that late.
I sent birthday invitations to my friends, and Girl DM was like, yeah, and Harune was like, yeah, and then she was like, no.
I did not say no. I said something came up last minute. It's a family obligation thing, and I am going to try and make it, like, playing it safe. I may be late, but I sincerely cannot imagine that I would be late to miss the whole thing. Like, that's...
Family obligation is code word for I hate you, Kai.
Yeah, that's
Yep,
what
that's
that means.
true.
Go get your own cake.
That's it.
We're replacing Kai next time.
Yeah. Goodbye, GHK. Hello, GH question mark.
Perfect.
Whatever.
Perfect. We're spicing it up.
Yeah. But yeah, please look forward to us coming back in the fall for GHK Radio Season 3. Where we may look different. I don't know.
Yeah, we may.
Some of us may look different. Some of us might
We'll
look
see.
the same. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. That'll be
see.
something you
We'll
guys
see,
can
we'll
look forward to. Yay!
Anyways.
それでは皆さん、またね。バイバイ。
Bye bye.